Go ahead and call tonight's meeting order. Let's have the roll call.
Kessler.
Here.
Kanega.
Here.
Burden.
Here.
Ewert.
Here.
Benner. Barton.
Yes.
Crump.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
I knew what you meant.
Tonight's invocation will be given by Councilman Rudden.
Father, we just thank you for this time this evening. Father, we just thank you for your many blessings that you've bestowed upon each and every one of us and upon our city this past year. And we pray, Lord, that you be with us this next year. We're excited about a lot of things that are coming. And Lord, we just pray that your hand would be in all of it. And we ask these things in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on then to the presentation of approval of minutes. Minutes of December 11, 2017. Mr. Kessler?
Make a motion we approve the minutes of December 11, 2017.
Second.
Well, second to approve the minutes of December 11, 2017. Discussion? Question?
Kessler.
Yes.
Kanega.
Yes.
Burden.
Yes.
Ewert.
Yes.
Barton.
Here, yes.
Crump.
Abstain.
Thompson.
Yes.
It's been a day.
Item 1, citizens to be heard. A, Sedgwick County Fire Department. We have a report, so whatever you want to do.
All right, good evening, Mayor, council members. My name's Captain Adam Pickett, Sedgwick County Fire District Number 1. C shift over here at 34s. You guys all got a copy of the report. This will be from the last 30-ish days from the first of the month anyways. I think we totaled out a little over 100 alarms here. This is in the city limits of Haysville, not the whole response area that we run in. Typical thing, usually medical emergencies take up almost 2/3 of our alarms here. So, you guys have any questions over that? Any other fire-related questions?
Questions order, council?
Just thank you for being around.
So we got lots of cookies from the locals. So we've done quite well this year on Christmas.
My folks know that 911 real good.
All right. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for coming over.
Appreciate it.
We'll go to item 2, approval license bond. A, refuse hauler license renewal, waste management, 4330 West 31st Street, South Wichita, 67215. Mr. Kanega?
Mayor, I move that we approve the refuse hauler's license for waste management.
Second.
Motion second to approve the refuse hauler's license renewal, waste management. Discussion? Question?
Kessler.
Yes.
Kanega.
Yes.
Burden.
Yes.
Ewert.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Item B, cereal malt beverage license renewal for Jumpstart, 7200 South Broadway. Mr. Crum?
I make a motion we approve the cereal malt beverage license renewal for Jumpstart at 7200 South Broadway.
Second.
Motion second to approve the renewal beverage license for Jumpstart. Discussion? Question?
Kessler.
Yes.
Kanega.
Yes.
Burden.
Yes.
Ewert.
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Item 3, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. A, an ordinance annexing and incorporating certain land within the boundaries of the city of Haysville, Kansas. You got your map. This is something that was kind of overlooked for quite a while when we were looking at the road out there. We discovered it hadn't been signed over to us, so it's been through and approved by the county, and now it's just for us to go ahead and take it into the city. So, Mr. Kester?
Now, is this just the south side of the road or is this the whole road?
South side of the road.
What, is the north side already?
North side's already, yeah, the north side's already in, south side they missed somehow. Yeah. Mr. Crum?
How far west does that go? Does that just go to the last entrance of the...
Actually, all the way to the city limits, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way to the city limits, which is just past the, well, you can tell where it's just past the,
where the Freeman Pond used to be?
yeah, right in there, yeah. Mr. Kessler?
Make a motion we approve the ordinance annexing and incorporating certain land within the boundaries of the city of Haysville, Kansas as presented.
Second.
Motion second to approve the ordinance for annexation and incorporation. Discussion? Question?
Kessler?
Yes.
Kanaga?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Ewer?
Yes.
Parton?
Yes.
Crump?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Item 4, notice of communications. A, governing body announcements. Anything governing body? Don't see anything. We'll go to item B, memo to council regarding a new business. One new business of jerky works, which is, looks like it's a home operation business out of 261 Stewart. Next item, we got a Christmas card from Jeff Blubaugh, Wichita State Council, and a Christmas card from the Haysville Aviators. Old business, number 5, KDA project update.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. To date, Phase 1, which is everything north of 79th, has passed all the testing requirements. Currently, KDHE's plumbing contractors are working on tying in those properties to the water system. As of this morning, they had 17 properties connected to our water utility. I did attach a map in the packet of the water main that is in the ground so far. Plans for the entire project have been completed and approved by the county, KDHE, and KDOT when needed. To date, we have 194 properties that have signed the access agreement with KDHE. KDHE has indicated to me they will be sending a final letter out to those property owners that have not communicated back to them the first week of January. And if they do not receive any response from them, they will then send another letter saying that any future connection will be the property owner's responsibility. So if anybody out there still has to get that access agreement back, please get it back to Kevin or myself at Public Works. I can answer any questions if anybody has any.
Mr. Crump?
Tony, do you know, is the state going out to those individual homeowners that they haven't heard back from, or are they just mailing out letters?
I know they've talked to their legal staff, and I know they're doing a lot of certified letters to those property owners. I know Kevin has done a lot of steps and miles and walking. I can't say without a fact that every home that he hasn't got communication back if he's tried to contact them physically in person. But I can definitely look into that if you like.
Okay, I'd appreciate it. I want to make sure they're really
Yeah.
fitting everything they can. Thank you.
Ms. Parton?
Do you know approximately how many houses haven't got back?
I know initially the agreement, we started with 270 potential connections, then at one point we went down to 228. So that's the last information I had, so 228 potential with 194 signed up right now.
Other questions? Thanks, Tony. Move on to item 6, other business. A, consideration of tax abatement and waiver of building permit fees, and water and sewer fees really also on this. You got your memo showing the business of Mr. Bryce Bowe. He lives in Peck, was wanting to build a building. He was looking around and found out that we had the industrial park. As you can see, it's a pretty good size building. It's $250,000 building. He'll be building. The equipment that he will be bringing in is $1.5 million equipment coming into this building and this crash testing facility, which will be done for pretty much all of the aviation businesses around in town. Long Beach, all of them that produce and need crash testing. He's retired from doing that, so knows the business very well. He wants to be a part of Haysville, and he already owns the lot that's there in the industrial park. Looks like the total rebate for the first year is $3,031 is all it would be. So this should be hopefully the first real aviation manufacturing that we're getting to bring into town, and hopefully we'll be able to get this to the 5 acres with additional manufacturing plants. Now that we do have someone coming in that is in the aircraft industry. Mr. Crump?
Do we know how many people he might employ?
He probably right now will be, I think it's he and maybe one other, so it's pretty small right now. It doesn't need a lot of employees. But he's hoping as more people sign on, he'll be able to expand it at that point. Ms. Kessler?
Do we have like the cost benefit analysis for this, for the abatement? As far as Now, what we're giving up, what the city's giving up in property taxes compared to what they're bringing in toward the city, whether it's revenue or taxes or things like that.
What he'll be bringing in at this point, since there's no item that he's selling, it's only a service that he provides. What you're going to get is only any money that they would probably spend in town. What it is the ability that we're bringing in a manufacturing plant truly into the city itself, showing we truly are now tied into that manufacturing ability of aviation is what it really does for us at this point. Yeah, and the cost, what it amounts to total with 5 years is $9,000.
9,000 over 5 years. What about the permit fees for?
Don't have those, but they should be minimal. Shouldn't be that many of whatever permit would be on a $250,000 building is all. Same as what a residence basically would be, which is really not that great of an amount of money at this point.
Now, have we done that before for businesses?
Yes, and we did it for residences also. In fact, this is probably less than when we were doing the residential abatements because we were doing those for such a longer period of time at the 100% level. We can see this one, it's only 1 year at 100 and we start getting money back in afterwards. So we will truly get revenue in the second year off of the tax parts of it. It's not 100%. The residential that we were doing basically was 100% for several years. First 5 years is what it was. So at least this is only a 5-year time frame. Mr. Crum?
I'm prepared to support this, but one thing that I think maybe we should look at as a city is to make sure we have something that comes back, like let's say his business is here only 3 years, that we have a way to go back and recoup that maybe 3 years worth of tax money in case he doesn't play out. When we have businesses like that, we need to have something that protects us from the revenue we're giving up.
Right, yeah, if he's no longer in business that length of time, then truly it's not going to pass to anyone else that may buy his building at this point.
Right.
It's only to the present owner of that building.
But I'd like, if we start doing things with it, that's what I'd really like to see us do, is have some kind of clause in there that says that if you don't live up to these expectations, you're not here this long, then you owe us those back taxes.
Yeah, I don't see a problem doing that. Mr. Kessler?
There's something else I would like as far as, because I know there's other properties out there, whether it's residents or businesses that do have abatements. Is there a way we can get maybe an annual report on abatements as far as, when they started, when they end, how much, what are the percentages, and whether or not they're following the guidelines, whether it's personnel they hired, things like that?
And the ones that really, that are the heavier, and he's not applying for IRBs, but if he would apply for IRBs, then you're talking about full abatement for the full length of whatever the IRB would be. Now, this is truly a smaller amount than what any IRB would be. We have 2 IRBs that are 100% tax abated at this point, and he didn't apply for those to do that at this point. So this is a better deal than trying to do a whole IRB issue for out there. But yeah, we already have that information, and we kind of look on an annual at how many, which is one of the reasons that we didn't do additional residential abatements, because people were truly coming into town without the abatement. Businesses, I'm afraid that once they've opened the door out there, when you're competing against other cities, that abatements are in practice what happens with those type of things that are there.
Yes, if they could be provided to the council, would be great, on an annual basis.
Yeah, no problem. Mr. Crum?
I was just going to go ahead and make a motion that we approve the tax abatement and building permit waiver request as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the waiver as presented. Mr. Martin, question?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment to go along with your deal about aviation coming in. Is this not the second business over there that is associated with aviation? Is the way the machine shop?
Oh, yeah, there'll be a machine shop, I don't know.
Well, no, but isn't there already a machine shop over there that belongs to
It's on down and around the corner.
Parsons?
And I think, is that the same one that's looking at expanding?
Yeah, because I know, I forgot his first name. Parsons is his last name, but anyway, he was part owner of ZTM Aerospace.
Okay.
And then when Brad sold that, then he took his and he opened this up over here. So it's, I mean, we're starting to get the aviation.
Yeah, and he's doing well enough, he's looking at expansion.
Yeah. And I talked to him the other day. And Sam, that's his first name. I couldn't, Sam Parsons, yeah.
Other statements or questions? If not, we'll call the question.
Kessler,
Yes.
Kanaga,
Yes.
Burton,
Yes.
Ewert,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Item B, consideration agreement with Lang Real Estate for sale of the former Haysville Activity Center. You got the contracts there, what's your guess? This one's on the Activity Center, and it is for a listing of $350,000 for 1 year. This kind of goes along, we've talked to Lang, they have other properties, and the expansion that they're doing up on Seneca has put them in touch with a lot of different commercial properties. So we looked at maybe some way better to use a real commercial real estate company basically to do the listing for. Mr. Kessler?
Is the current offering price like 490,000 or something like that?
It was, and they've looked at it, and they've done a market study on the price of the others that they've got out there. This is the price that they're recommending at this point. Because that appraisal was done, boy, probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So they're thinking with what the building needs in remodeling to make it more commercial building, that 350 is a better figure for it. Other questions, or Mr. Crum?
I'll make a motion that we approve the consideration of agreement with Lang Real Estate for the sale of the former hack.
Second.
Motion second to approve the agreement with Lang Real Estate with the hack. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Kanaga,
Yes.
Burton,
Yes.
Ewert,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Next one is the property that we own on Broadway. It's a 5-acre tract right behind all of the other ones over there. Again, they've done their study and thinking that that's a 5-acre tract, so it's actually, what is that, per acre? Pretty good chunk per acre, basically. What, 19,000 an acre. Yeah. Mr. Crum?
Is this lot, this 5 acres, is it actually attached to our industrial park?
Yes. Straight south.
So, okay, but like the south border of it comes up against our industrial park?
Yes.
Is there a reason why we can't utilize this as part of an expansion on the industrial park?
It is. It's zoned the same way. The idea is that we can get somebody to buy the full 5. If not, we can go in and replat it into smaller lots at this point. It's not been replatted at this point.
Is that how the industrial park's set up? The industrial park's just lots and they go in and they have to buy the land from us, or do we own the land and they're putting buildings on it?
We own the land and they'd have to buy the land and then put a building on it. We don't want them to own the land and the building both. We don't want to be in the lease owner mode or something.
So this would just bring that into the same kind of setting, so it could be considered an expansion of the industrial park, or?
Yes.
Since we already owned it, was a part of the industrial park?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's really an expansion of the industrial park at 5 acres is what it is.
okay.
Yeah. Mr. Crump?
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept the agreement with Lang Real Estate for the sale of 7310 South Broadway.
Second.
Motion second to approve the agreement with Lang for the South Broadway acreage. Discussion? Question?
Kessler,
Yes.
Kanaga,
Yes.
Burton,
Yes.
Ewert,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Move item 7, department reports. A, administrative services. Will?
No announcements.
City clerk, Janie?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Next Monday is New Year's Day, and city offices will be closed that day. The following Monday is city council, our next city council meeting, and we will be seating the newly elected mayor and council members. That's all I have.
Item C, police chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll start with our visiting officer this evening is Lieutenant Kevin Sexton. He's currently in charge of our investigation section, so we'll say hi to him and go by out there. Also, we have a few things coming up this weekend. It's New Year's Eve, in case you're unaware. New Year's Eve, looks like it's going to be cold that day and possibly some precipitation, so I want everybody to be extra careful driving. Obviously, if the streets get icy, Public Works will be out there to take care of it. If you go outside of Haysville, you're on your own, so we can't help that one. But just be careful. Also, there will be fireworks that are legal on New Year's Eve. Those are allowed to be detonated from 6 p.m. on December 31st until 1 a.m. on January 1st. It's in the city code. And also, there will be the 911 non-emergency line that will be up for loud parties, fireworks, things like that, those nature type complaints. And that'll be available from 9 p.m. on the 31st until 1 a.m. on the 1st. And that number is 290-1011. It's 290-1011, so anything that doesn't require immediate police response, things like loud parties, things like that, you're welcome to call in those numbers. If it's anything where there's a fight going on or something like that, obviously call 911 because that's something that we need to be out there immediately for. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Item D, Public Works, Tony.
Good evening again. A project update for Orchard Acres and Burke. Base asphalt has been put down. All driveways through both streets have been completed except for two properties where the homeowner had special circumstances where the contractor had to pour halves at a time. So we still have two halves to pour. Just need some warmer weather to cooperate with us to get some of the rest of that finished. Just like Janie was saying, the Public Works office will be closed on January 1st. But as always, we do have water and wastewater operators on call 24/7. You can reach them with Haysville Dispatch at 529-5912. And also, Christmas trees can be dropped off just north of Public Works at 401 South Jane. We do ask you please remove all decorations prior to dropping them off. We had somebody forget to take one off, and the decoration did find its rightful owner, though. So, thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Hey, Recreation, Georgie.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. And if you didn't know, New Year's Day is coming up, and only PD and Public Works may possibly be working, so we're going to be closed also. So we will be open on Sunday from 12 to 5, but then closed
One
on
of
New
those
Year's
people
Day.
that are going to do about all the overeating and everything.
Tuesday. 5 a.m.
Okay. Hold on till Tuesday.
Yep. So we will be taking registrations along that lines for our boot camp. It's a new holiday session, the New Year's Challenge. It will begin on Monday, January 8th. It runs on Mondays and Thursday nights. And then we have Tiny Top Basketball we're taking registration for, cheerleading, and then we currently have a membership drive going on. So anyone that wants to work on the pounds they gained over the holidays, they can come and see us. That's all I have.
Thank you, Georgie. Item 8, appointments. We have none. Item 9, opportunity citizen to be heard. Anyone that would like to come forward. Talk to council, now is the time. Not seeing anyone, we'll go on to item 10, executive session. We have none. Item 11, bills be paid. A, bill be paid for the last half of December. Ms. Ewert?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to pay the last half of December bills.
Second.
Motion second, pay the last half of December bills. Discussion? Question?
Kessler?
Yes.
Kanaga?
Yes.
Roden?
Yes.
Ewert?
Yes.
Carton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Move to item B, year-end encumbrances, as we usually do with all the bills that need to be paid, plus things that council has authorized. We encumber those funds. There is one change on your capital improvements section. It's the rock lining for Riggs and Timberlane and Southampton. Instead of $20,000, it should be $77,070. And we are still in contact with Ewert. Works. Yeah. Your brother. Not your brother either.
They're all here.
They are still setting up to be in within the next 2 weeks, I think, on parts of it, to come in with the weather where they can get up above freezing.
Not gonna be any water left in the pond either.
Yeah,
Had to be able to get in.
and that was the idea,
Yeah,
is
they
to have the
all
water
get
down.
it, get it out.
Yeah. So those are your encumbrances, or any questions you may have, we've got these people lined up, ready to answer. Mr. Crum?
And I make a motion that we approve the encumbrances with the noted change.
Second.
Close second to approve encumbrances as presented with change. Discussion? Question?
Kessler?
Yes.
Kanaga?
Yes.
Burden?
Yes.
Ewert?
Yes.
Horton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Item C is authorization to reimburse petty cash on December 31st, 2017. Ms. Zewert?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we reimburse petty cash on December the 31st, 2017.
Second.
No second to authorize the reimbursement petty cash. Discussion? Question?
Kessler?
Yes.
Kanaga?
Yes.
Burden?
Yes.
Ewert?
Yes.
Horton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Item D is authorization to pay unanticipated invoices coming in received after the end of the year for 2017. Ms. Zewert?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we pay any unanticipated invoices dated 2017 and received after year end.
Second.
Motion second to approve the unanticipated invoices. Discussion? Question?
Kessler?
Yes.
Kanaga?
Yes.
Burden?
Yes.
Ewert?
Yes.
Horton?
Yes.
Crum?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Item 12, consent agenda, we have nothing. Item 13, council items. A, council concerns. Any concerns, council? Ms. Burden?
This goes to Public Works being broke into. Have we thought about upgrading our camera system? And also, did they come in the front gate, or if they came in the back way, do we need to put a gate up on the back side since Randy Dorner Park has access directly there now?
I mean, for what I know, it's still an open investigation, so the particulars that all lead to chief. But
Right.
there has been talks to fence in the back portion already previously. We do have cameras that do a good job, but the size that we have for our yard is quite hard and expensive to get all covered, like the activity center. But it's definitely something, adding some lights. We talked to some officers, motion detector lights, to where if they drive through, they see the lights on that aren't normally, unless motion, kind of adding something like that in the future. So.
Okay. Next thing is Facebook. I know there's a lot of talk, different, on Haysville happenings and things, the robberies and the car break-ins and things. And I'm sure you guys probably follow that really well, but it seems like you guys get some bashing out there. Have we thought about doing a Haysville Police Facebook page? Because I know a lot of the different towns around here, Derby, Mulvane, Clearwater, all have their own page that maybe the citizens can be in direct contact if they don't want to pick up the phone and call you, because we all know they like to call.
It's been considered before, and at that point, we decided that it wasn't anything that we'd be interested in pursuing at that point. As with anything, we can look at it again.
Because there's nothing else you can, like the break-in at the Public Works, you can post that on there. I know it goes to Hazel Happenings, but if you can post it on your own and different tips, like your cars.
We've already got a good following on the city's page, so it'd be kind of, if there's something we really want to get out there, we'd go through that route anyway. Even with things that post on the activity centers, they flow through and post on the city so more people see them.
Like, the Public Works page is fairly new, and something I post may only get 300 views, but once Ginger kind of, whatever the word for Facebook, retweets or whatever it's called for Facebook, then it can get, hundreds or thousands once it goes through the City of Hazel's Facebook page, so.
Right. But I just thought that would give us more of a presence with the police department. Maybe they feel like you would be more.
One of the big issues with the police department is, as you can tell from some of the posts that they do put on there, you can get hundreds and hundreds of comments and other things that are on there that it would take us probably another full-time person just to monitor all the comments and things on there to make sure that they were appropriate. Other departments will delete your posts if they don't think that they're appropriate, and again, for us to be able to track that and keep somebody on top of that and keeping that up to date, it would be It'd be very time consuming on staff.
Okay.
Mr. Crum?
Well, I'm just gonna put my 2 cents worth in on that. The department I work for, we had a Facebook page. We had it up for about 2 months, and we took it down because it was nothing but bashing the police department. It was an outlet for people to bash the police department. Not one time did we glean any kind of information or anything like that. It was just a page for people to go to and bash the police department. So we took it down, so.
I know you can set the pages where the public can't comment, but you can put things out there, but.
Right.
Mr. Crum?
Georgie, right now, what are the hours on Saturdays at the hack?
8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Can you tell me, when you guys close down at 1 p.m., do you have a full gym of high school people playing basketball or anything like that, or is the building pretty empty?
I'd have to actually check on Saturdays. They haven't left me or said anything to me, so I don't know. I know on the schooled out days, we have been packed. I mean, here over break, we have been busy every day.
Because one thing I'm concerned about is we always talk about trying to make sure we've got something for teenagers to do in town, and if we're closing the hack down at 1 o'clock and we've got 30 guys in there trying to play basketball in the 2 gyms, I'd kind of like to know that, because maybe that would be something we might want to look at expanding some hours if that's what's happening. So I guess what I'd kind of be curious, I'd kind of like to see what our numbers are on Saturday and maybe when that
Well,
clears out.
Saturdays right now, we run youth basketball, so it's kind of hard to tell. So the basketball courts aren't actually open because we're running our program there.
Do all the games end at 1?
Games go to 1. Some of them were till 2 or 3, but I think they're all done by 1:30 now. So Saturdays, it would be hard to, because it wasn't cold before we started basketball, so it hasn't been busy like it has been for about the last 20 days.
Okay.
I mean, it's been solid right now.
So during the league basketball season, we really don't have any gym time available on Saturdays there?
Not now. We can't get into schools during the month of December because of programs and everything else, so we get kicked out. So we're actually running youth basketball at the activity center. That way we don't have any interruptions for our program running straight, and we don't have any cancellations or get kicked out. So.
Okay, thank you. Could you find out kind of, how much longer is the basketball season to run?
3 more weeks in January. It starts the 6th, is that the next Saturday, or the 8th?
6th.
The 6th, and then we have 3 more weeks, and then it'll be after that. Would you like to ask me if I need a 3rd gym? Just to throw it out there. I think I've already mentioned it to the mayor.
Well, I know that I heard because you said it's been so busy on school days out, and you've got elementary school kids in there taking up half of the gym sometimes, and so your gym's even cut in half at that point, isn't it?
The kids haven't been in there as much because we have other spots, and then we've only been using half a gym. But the afternoon's pretty much 12 o'clock till about 5:30. There's a lot of kids. Today was the first slow day. So, and I can't tell you why today.
Because it got to almost 40.
You might be exactly right there. Maybe go outside. But, yeah.
Okay, I think you see what I'm trying to make sure that we're making sure that that's available for our kids to get in and do stuff. Because we always talk about that's a problem, and I want to make sure we're not shutting it down at a time when we'd have a lot of teenagers in there doing something.
Yeah, I'll have to see after basketball here how it goes.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, it has been busy. Our membership's more than almost tripled since we left the old activity center.
Okay.
I think we were at 558 today, actual memberships.
And that's not even with your special, hasn't even started yet, has it?
No, we've had a special going on, but when we left the old activity center, we were at 240, 204, somewhere right around there, so, yeah.
And that's memberships, that's not individual people.
Yeah, individual members is over 1,000.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Item B, as council action request updates, A, 209 Sunset Avenue.
As you may remember, at 209 Sunset, the renter responsible for the violation has moved out. The landlord has cleaned up the property. This case will remain open until the court date, which is scheduled for January 16th. Thank you.
Item 14, adjournment. Mr. Kniga.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. Discussion. Question.
Kessler,
Yes.
Knaga,
Yes.
Rardon.
Yes.
Ewert,
Yes.
Horton,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
I must not need you, there you go.
He didn't fall.